Johannesburg residents often face poor service delivery from electricity outages to uncollected waste. Now, the Ombudsman's office has launched a new digital complaints platform to improve accountability and transparency. The system allows residents to lodge and track complaints online, empowering citizens in the fight for better governance. Advocate Sdu Gumede is the Ombudsman for the city of Johannesburg. Advocate, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Now, why does this new platform matter for ordinary residents in Johannesburg?
Yes, thank you, Hugo, and good afternoon to your viewers. The platform is important because it simplifies life for residents, basically. They don't have to now, okay, let's start by saying, obviously residents will know that the Office of the Ombudsman is an office of last instance, right? It's not an office of first instance. So which means if they have issues with the municipality, they still have to go to a regional office closest to them to lodge their complaints, right? Because before you can come to me, you must show me that you have tried to resolve the issue with the municipality, because there are people who are there to assist you.
Correct.
But if they don't assist you, then you can come to me, and I then look at you to see if the complaints that you're bringing is within the jurisdiction of the Office of the Ombudsman. And if it is, then I get involved as the Office of the Ombudsman. And why is it important to create this additional platform? And I say it's an additional platform because all the other established platforms that we use are still available to residents. So this is an extra way to make life easy for residents. They no longer have to come or go to a regional office if they can show that they've been there and they've not received the assistance they sought or they desired. Then they can escalate using the platform. They don't have to come to Braamfontein either, which is where we are based, right? And they can do this in the comfort of their homes, right? So some people sometimes have to take leave to have their matters resolved by council or to present their complaints to council. They no longer have to do that. They can do it, they can, as I say, from the comfort of their home, really. And life must continue. So we must interrupt life in the least manner possible. Enhance the convenience. That's what really it's about. Make it easy to deal with the municipality. Don't complicate, simplify.
Advocate Stu, I think it's incredible that this platform has been put together. But does it reflect the inefficiencies of the city of Johannesburg? Because obviously, if you're having to come up with a stopgap measure, call it a second base, if you will, to deal with inefficiencies, it then speaks to the absence of satisfactory performance by the city of Johannesburg, does it not?
Well, it's about telling. We're definitely changing the culture. Okay, everyone agrees, everyone accepts that the level of service is not where it should be. So we accept that. There's definitely an acknowledgement. And this is an attempt to turn things around, to assist communities, to say there is an office that you can go to. This is an initiative of the city of Johannesburg to say we see that the current situation is not adequate, it's not sufficient, it's not satisfactory. So what can we do? So they started the Office of the Ombudsman. So the Office of the Ombudsman then is looking at better ways to serve residents. And this is one example of what we think would assist in the delivery of services to the public of Johannesburg. So it's an initiative of the city, obviously under the auspices of the Office of the Ombudsman.
So I'm a little curious.
So we're not denying that there are problems with service delivery. And this is a response to deal with the problems in the service delivery sphere, basically. This is what we're trying to do.
So to put it simply, the city of Johannesburg has its own system to receive messages from its citizens and address those issues. Now they're saying, well, whilst we have this system, we now want another system to check on our own system.
Well, we recognize that the current system is not satisfactory. And there is, for whatever reason, sometimes there's disgruntlement, sometimes, I don't know, the complaint for whatever reason is not resolved. But we are saying, we're not shutting the door to you. Let's elevate it, okay? Because I might have skills that people down the line that they may have seen do not have, okay? So I bring the skills, I bring my authority as the ombudsman to talk to anybody in the city, basically. That's what an ombudsman does. I have access that people who may be much junior in the administration may not have. So this is the benefit, that an issue is escalated to the highest level in the administration, so that I can go to the MD of Joburg Water and say, MD of Joburg Water, this is a complaint about the delivery of your service. Or I can go to the CEO of City Power and say, this is the problem in your area. This is what the residents are saying. What are you going to do about that? An ordinary person doesn't have that amount of access that I enjoy as an official. So that is an important distinction, I think.
So let's talk about your role as the ombuds and just how much power you have to ensure that these complaints are rectified. Because you've indicated to us that you are the second stop. So first stop, obviously, is the city of Johannesburg, where a resident lodges a complaint and says, this is what's happening, lack of service delivery. After 2 or 3 calls or 2 or 3 weeks later, nothing's been done. They then pick up the phone or go online and contact you. What power do you have to address this problem that any resident might have?
As I said to you, so we have a process, obviously, a value chain that we've created. We have a way of working, call it that. So I have an administration in my own office, a number of people who will look at the complaint and see if it's within the jurisdiction of the Office of the Ombudsman. Because as you can imagine, as we come online to platforms such as this, there are many people watching, and there are many people who think, oh, we will take our matters to the Johannesburg Ombudsman. But some of them may not relate to the city of Johannesburg. Some of them may not even relate to the type of work that the city of Johannesburg does. So we've got to sift through those. We've got to say, oh, this is not within our jurisdiction, so we can't help you, but we can refer you to a particular place. So there is that process, and I have people who do that every Monday. This is when matters are allocated. So what powers do I have? As I said, I can speak to this. I can speak to the city manager, even the highest, the accounting officer of the city. I can take any matter if I think it merits the attention of the city manager. I can talk to anyone in the city and ask for answers. This is the power I have as an ombudsman. I have that access, and I can say I expect a response within 2 weeks, or depending on the urgency of the matter, within a shorter period sometimes. So I do have that.
So I want to talk to...
And I do have that access.
I'd like you to address, advocates, two issues. The one issue is the conversation that you've had with the city of Johannesburg and how ready and prepared they are for what obviously is going to be potentially an influx of complaints, because service delivery is not up to par. And the second issue is, what sort of turnaround can people expect once they have contacted the ombuds? I'd imagine that obviously it would vary between cases, but to judge the efficiency of your own office, what should the expectations be?
Yeah, so this is a platform to bring complaints to the attention of the city, and then to be dealt with by the Office of the Ombudsman. So it doesn't change. We have what we call a standard operating procedure for our environment. Okay, so the standard operating procedure will say, when the Office of the Ombudsman receives a complaint, it must acknowledge it within 2 days or 3 days. It must decide So it must acknowledge it by informing the complainant that we have indeed received a complaint, and then it must say the complaint, the following correspondence will say, we've assessed your complaint and it is within our jurisdiction, and therefore we will be investigating it. And your investigator will be Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so. So all of that is documented within our standard operating procedure. And then obviously we start with the investigation. It depends on the nature of the complaint. If somebody says, my electricity has been cut off, that shouldn't take long to resolve, okay? But obviously, it's in the bylaw and it's in our standard operating procedure. The maximum time that we take to investigate a matter is 6 months. But there are cases that go beyond the 6 months, which we then fall into a different category of cases. But the average time should be no more than 6 months per matter. Obviously, some of the cases are resolved even at intake stage. Cases are resolved there, but others will then be resolved depending on the complexity of the matter.
Well, you've talked about every Monday apportioning out the various complaints that have come through.
Yes.
So it means that people basically have to wait a week. But when it comes in the context of problem resolving over a 6-month period, then it may not be too long a time to wait. So how does this initiative strengthen democracy at the local government level?
Well, we believe so. We believe, in fact, this platform is new in the city, right? It's an initiative that the Office of the Ombudsman, working with Group ICT, have come up with. Okay, so we launched it this week. It's very new. The hope is that we are going to be engaging with departments and entities of the city of Johannesburg to say, look at what we've come up with. Why don't you emulate this example so that it's not just the Office of the Ombudsman that's doing it, but all departments and entities of the city of Johannesburg. So we think it's very important. We think that, as I said, people sometimes have to take leave to have their account sorted by the city. They don't have to do that anymore because they can upload documents, they can register a complaint, they can upload documents and send to us, and they can continue with their lives whilst we investigate the problem. And we account to them as and when information becomes available. And we are always on the case, basically following up with departments, following up with entities such as City Power and Joburg Water to see if there is a response. So we become that department in the city that chases delivery on complaints. Service delivery is paramount in our environment. So we think it's a great initiative. As I said, we would like to see other departments follow suit. And there's no reason why the other departments cannot follow suit, because the platform has been conceptualized by the city of Johannesburg itself. So they just have to plug and play, really. There may be some tweaking here and there that needs to be done. But that's what we'll be advocating for. We haven't asked them to do so now, but that is what we are definitely going to be advocating for as the Office of the Ombudsman, that all departments and all entities in the city should implement such a platform so that access is broadened and made easy to members of the public.
Advocates, before you go and implement or advocate implementation for other departments, let's touch a little bit on the elderly, those that are in outlying areas in Johannesburg where service delivery by and large is non-existent, where they have the highest number of power outages, the least amount of refuse collection, who also may not have the highest levels of literacy and are expected to use this online platform, right? Is that contradictory? How do these individuals who don't have access to go online make use of this service?
They are not expected to use this service. It is an option, an additional option that we've made available to basic citizens of the city of Johannesburg.
But shouldn't it be available to everyone? Shouldn't it be available to everyone? Because obviously, if this is a stopgap measure, if you're dissatisfied with the current service levels that you're getting from the city of Joburg, right?
Yes.
Here's the office of the Ombudsman, right? Who will carry your case to the city of Joburg directly to the highest officers, as you've indicated. But if I have no access to an online platform, what use is it to those individuals?
Oh, no. So, as I said, this is in addition to all the other channels that we have. So what we still do as the Office of the Ombudsman, we do advocacy. So we are always in the regions, always talking to people. We convene meetings, physical meetings with the public, and there we take down complaints. We have ambassadors of the Office of the Ombudsman who are part of all our advocacy activities that we do. So we are always rotating in the region. So, and the elderly who cannot write, or the elderly, by the way, you can bring a complaint to the Office of the Ombudsman in any language. We have people who will assist you with that. So the ambassadors will help you. So the fact that this is a new platform being created does not take away existing channels of complaints. So we have, as I said, we have advocacy. We go around, we take complaints, and so all the traditional methods of bringing a complaint. If they want to physically come to the Office of the Ombudsman, they still can. We are not saying we are no longer going to be allowing walk-ins to come to the office. No, that stays. This is just for those who have access to the internet to make life easier for them. So, and also in the regions, what we are going to be working on is that the regions, because we have ambassadors in the regions, that there will be technology made available, and the ambassadors are going to be assisting complainants who want to lodge their complaint in the regions. So this is not to take away existing channels, but to add to existing channels.
Fantastic. Advocate Sdu Gumede, Ombudsman for the City of Johannesburg, speaking to us on the newly launched online platform for complaints, which is a further enhancement to the already existing physical structures, if you will, where you are able to go to the Ombudsman to launch any complaints.